Once the program opens, you are going to be greeted with this thing that is called the dashboard. By default, it opens to getting started. Instead, in the upper left-hand corner, let's put it into create. And what this allows you to do is set up the parameters for your session. So let's take a look at what we could do here. So the first thing that you could do here is you can name it. So you want to have a descriptive name. And right below that, you could decide how this thing is going to be stored. If you want to store it on the computer you're sitting at, that is called local storage. This type of Pro Tools file is called a session if it is stored locally. This shows up as a test question. The other thing that you are allowed to do, I don't know anybody who does this. I've met one person who's done it once, but you'll notice that collaboration and cloud backup, this is grayed out. So if you were to do one of these types of projects, you would have to buy or have Avid storage space, and you would have to also be logged in. Another thing that you can do is you could sign into your Pro Tools account here. This isn't something that I normally do, but I'm just going to show you how it works because it is an answer to a question on the Avid test. So just click on sign in, and then you can put your Avid information in here. This is only going to work if you own a Pro Tools license. And so now it shows me how much of my Avid branded cloud storage that I've used. And I'd never used this, so it's at 0%. And it tells me, even with my Pro Tools Ultimate license, they only give me 1 gigabyte. But anyways, now I have a choice to do cloud collaboration and cloud backup. So this type of file has a different name. It's called a project. But this isn't going to be something you do very much professionally. I don't know anybody personally who uses projects on a regular basis, if ever. So let's stick with local storage, and that is called a session. You can create customized templates, which can be handy, and we will learn that later in the course. And they have some standard ones, but I don't find those very useful. Other things that you find in the dashboard, you could choose the file type. You have 2 choices here. You could go either BWF, which is broadcast wave file. This is the more common one, or you could go AIFF. These are the only 2 file types that Pro Tools can operate natively within their session. So you have a choice between 3 different bit depths, 16-bit, 24, and 32-bit floating point. 24-bit is the most common. You could choose your sample rate here. You could have 44.1, 48,000, or 48 kilohertz, another way to put that. 88.2, 96K. You can have 176.4 or 192. So these are all multiples of these first 2. So 48, 96, 192. You can either have it be interleaved or not. All modern recording software can actually use stereo files, so it really doesn't make sense not to check the interleaved file. So right below that, you have 2 radial buttons that allow you to choose where your files are going to be stored. I like prompt for location. That gives me a pop-up window like every other program does, but you could put it in the same location every time if you want as well. You can also access recent files here. Projects, so remember, is going to be one of those online cloud collaboration ones. And then they also have tutorials, which I don't really use. And if you are in a Pro Tools class, probably better just to ask your teacher. But these are here if you want to mess around with them. We can also open files from here. We can just cancel the whole process or go ahead and hit create. So that is a tour of the dashboard.